So it's a couple years ago. I'm leading a home presentation, right? It's basically a plug and play presentation. So I've been introduced at the start. I've done a little 2-minute setup. I've thrown it to a video presentation. That's a 30-minute video presentation. And then you finish it, you take questions, and you have the call to action, you give out the packets. So there's a guy, he's probably 21, 22 years old. He's sitting behind someone there. The whole presentation, he's texting, playing video games, answering emails, I don't know what. And I'm saying, oh man, this guy isn't even paying attention to a word that's going on. And I'm thinking, well, he just don't get it. So what? That kid, he's just not serious. So what? But I noticed that. I think you would too, right? Whenever you're leading one of those things. So the presentation finishes, go to the thing. He comes running up to me and he says, my friend wants to do this business. I said, okay, really? Okay, who's your friend? He says, interested? He said, no, he's not here. I said, well, what do you mean he wants to do the business? How does he know about the business? He says, I've been texting him the whole time. And so here I am. I think he's playing, Grand Theft Auto 6. He's texting his friend. Everything that comes up on the video, he's telling his friend. And his friend is all excited and ready to join the business. Here's the lesson from that. The dynamics of the business have changed a lot, and follow-up has to change with it. And that's the topic of our chapter here, is how to follow up with people. Understand that follow-up is where your group is built. The key with follow-up is, just remember everything about a duplicable system, is we have a step, we have an action, we have a tool, right? The key with follow-up is to have a standardized time frame for when things happen. We want to have bigger meetings that we can bring people into. We want to follow the escalation progression. And then we want to be touching people in between any of those meetings. And the key is, don't let more than 48 hours elapse between contacts. And today's attention span, it's getting tighter and tighter. So here's what I would tell you. When I started in the business, I've been in this business 25 years now. I started really young, right? So I wasn't even 20 when I got into business. And we used to bring people to a presentation on a Tuesday night, and we would follow up probably Friday. And we'd say, well, you don't want to call before Friday or it's going to look really pushy. Now, today, people are at meetings, they're taking a picture, they're posting it on their Facebook page at the event, they're sending out tweets during the event, they're Googling the company during the event, they're watching, they're checking up on stuff on the car ride home. As you'll probably, depending on the age of your prospect, the younger they are, the sooner you need to follow up. Because if you get a 20-year-old person at your presentation, 25-year-old person, you got to understand, they have the attention span of a gnat, okay? They were, I grew up, I'm a reader. I love books. You bring a 20-year-old to a presentation today, and you want to give them a big lit pack, right, with a bunch of literature and books and brochures. They don't even know what a book is. If they haven't been in a museum, they don't book? What's a book? Is it like, I know what an e-book is. What's a book, right? So you try to give them all that. You're talking about people who are used to working 2 screens at a time while they're watching a 3rd screen, or opening 4 or 5 browser sessions while they're, even my mastermind group, one of the guys there, he's not a kid either. He's in his 60s. I was just fascinated. He had 2 phones because he has an iPhone. And then he had a regular phone, because one works really good in Puerto Rico and one works good in North America. I don't remember which was which, but he had 2 phones. He had a laptop and he had an iPad. All while we're at a mastermind dinner, and he had all 4 devices that he was using during this time. And this was a guy in his 60s. So you got to understand, somebody who's in their 20s, even their 30s today, they grew up with technology. They grew up with, if you look at MTV, the image on the screen changes literally every second. Watch Bloomberg and see there's 6 or 7 or 8 different scrolls going on the screen. People are really distracted, really disfocused, really need all of this stimulation. If you bring someone to a presentation and wait 2, 3, 4 days to follow up, they don't even remember they were at a presentation. So I want you, here's your homework. I want you counseling with your sponsorship line and find out what is the tools to use at each step of the process, and then follow that system. But I want you to tighten up and know what that schedule is. And 24 to 48 hours is really the maximum time span. The other thing is, you know, with all this technology today, use the technology to fill in the gaps between the meetings. Because now you could have someone at a presentation on a Tuesday night. There might not be another live presentation for another 2 weeks, or in some cases even 30 days. But there'll be conference calls that you can get people on in the meantime. There'll be webcasts you can get people on in the meantime. You can send them links to presentations. You can send them video emails. There's all kinds of things you can do. And sometimes it's also good to just call them on, tell them you want to bring something by the house, and come by with a physical tool, a DVD, CD, brochures, product catalog, whatever the case may be, just to keep that escalation progression going and giving them enough information to make a decision. And what you're going to see is some people get it right away. Some people need the repetition. They need to see it 2, 3, 4 times. And you don't want to just keep bugging them that, hey, have you made a decision yet? Hey, are you ready to join this? That's not the way to really bring people through the process. The way to bring them through the process is to keep touching base with them and bringing more information each time of the escalation. So you bring them more information, and that more information is what allows them to reach the right decision for them.